Questions?
You've talked in the past just about embracing pressure, both personally, and then you want your roster to embrace that as well. I think we can comfortably say this is one of the bigger opportunities for this organization in the last several years. So what's the balance this week of making sure they don't put too much pressure on themselves, but making sure they embrace this moment and take it head on?
Yeah, I think it's just important. It's what we talked about this morning. It's important to just stay focused on the task at hand. You know, no different we did last week. We put the work in. We were very detailed, focused, put together a good game plan. Those guys executed well, and it's the same thing here. Just focus on the job at hand. You know, don't look any farther than that, and honestly, don't look any farther than today. That's what it's about, and we need to go out there and practice here in about an hour, and that's your best chance to win the game is win each day of practice that you got getting ready for it. So that's really our focus.
I don't know if it had anything to do with anything at all other than just a bad day, but you had a Christmas Eve game last year. It was a rough one for you guys on the road. Similar situation. Is there anything to the date and just where guys' minds are at with family obligations and whatnot? Is there anything you got to recenter for this one?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it, you know, people are going to have families in. It is that time of year, but that's everywhere in the league right now. You know, everybody's got mom and dad and sisters, cousins, in-laws, and listen, that goes with the territory. So you got plenty of time to see them after the game, and more importantly, when the season's done, and they'll all understand. And so I think that's always going to be a focal point. Doesn't mean it's easy, but that's what you have to do.
Yeah, wondering on Monday, the fans were kind of torn between the Seahawks and the Eagles, you know, clinching the division or hoping for better playoff seeding. Where did you fall in that game? Who were you rooting for?
Honestly, it really didn't matter to me. I mean, it really didn't. I was either way. I mean, to me, it's still, we control our own destiny as it pertains to winning this division. So, man, no matter what happens, we win, and we win a division we're in, and we get a home game. And so that's right where I wanted to be. Me personally, I know the team. So it really didn't matter.
Dan, the division games for JARED GOFF haven't necessarily been the best. I think he had like 6 picks in 4 division games. I guess what's your message to him going into, he got 2 out of 3 left against division opponents, Minnesota obviously, but just keeping his focus for those games when, I mean, they're seeing him more than any other teams. Probably.
Yeah, look, I think the same message that we had really the last 2 weeks, you know, and because honestly, he's done a good job of taking care of the ball. You know, we had Chicago. We came back, won that game. Then Green Bay, Thanksgiving. But honestly, out at Chicago, I don't count those interceptions. I'm just bringing that up again. And the center quarterback exchange, that wasn't just one person there. So he's done a good job. And I think really the most important thing is, man, cut it loose. That's the message. It's not the other way. Because I go back to this. He's one of the biggest reasons we're sitting at 10 wins right now is him playing loose and. Man, you know, just trust what your eyes see, play the progression, and throw with conviction. And that doesn't mean something bad may not happen. I mean, something may happen. That's life in the NFL. We got to find a way to overcome it. But we sure don't want him tightening up and worrying about all that. So just go out like you did last week, put the work in, and cut it loose.
Challenges with the you talked about the Vikings defense a little bit the other day, but with all the blitzing that Flores does, the drop 8, the different looks, I guess, that he gives, much different than anyone else in the NFL.
Yeah, it's unique. It's a very unique defense, and what they ask those guys to do, man, there's a ton of moving parts, and so there's, you know, this is one of those where for us as a staff, the game plan is not going to end until probably, you know, the morning of. As you continue to watch and then you practice and then you solve problems, and there's going to be, as it goes, there'll be some stuff we cut out, some stuff we add, some stuff that we can add a couple of wrinkles to make it better. But we're going to have to evolve throughout this week because it takes a while. And so I think the most important thing is just keeping our players man, just composed and giving them confidence in a plan that they know they can execute. you know, what you don't want is them being paralyzed, right? Because there's so many different things. So, and I think we'll be able to do that for him. But it is unique.
Dan, I'm just wondering how much Jordan Addison caught your attention in the draft process, and what's allowed him to have success, averaging over 13 yards a catch and 9 touchdowns in his first year?
Yeah, well, confidence, that's a big part of it, as with any rookie. You know, he's got his confidence is clearly up, and you can tell that as an offense, quarterback, all of them, play caller, that they have confidence in finding ways to get him the ball. And, you know, and the things that you liked about him coming out of the draft, it's what's showing up, man. He's a pure outside receiver. He's a very crafty route runner. He's got a vast route tree, really good hands. So he's developing. I mean, if you're them, you're pleased with where he's at right now. That's for sure.
Sorry, as a former tight end yourself, can you speak to the level of difficulty of what Sam Laporta's doing? And did you guys have any sense that it would be he'd be this soon?
Look, I just go back. No, it's not easy. All that he's been able to do to grasp and produce this fast in all the areas. Honestly, I mean, I just go back to this. His run blocking and pass blocking has improved significantly on top of what everybody sees: the catches, the routes, the run after catch. And no, I mean, I think you would love to say that every rookie is going to come in and feel that vision immediately, but that's not the reality. That's not the truth. Everybody grows at different rates. Some of them it does happen fast. Some of them it's late in the year. Some of them it's year 2. Some of it's year 3, which we're seeing with a couple of our guys right now, you know. And so, no, but I think overall that vision was going to be where he is. You know, that was what we see. We saw a complete tight end that had a ton of versatility. And no, it's come on pretty quick.
I wanted to ask you about opposite. Addison Jefferson, obviously one of the best, if not the best receiver in the league. You guys had 2 very different games against him last year. One, the plan was executed probably close to perfection, then the other one he goes off for 200. So when I know different personnel, probably a little bit different scheme, but like what can you gain from those 2 games as you try to prep for him again another time?
There's nothing easy about going against him, you know. And now that you got Addison on the other side, you got Hawkinson obviously at the tight end position, and they got a run game. So that makes it difficult. I just go back to this: the resources you're going to use to try to slow him down, then it opens up other avenues here. And there again, if you're going to do that, that means the other guys got to be able to win their one-on-ones. You have to. So there's nothing easy about it. I mean, I think I know this. We can't let him have 200 yards again. I mean, that's the most obvious. So we're going to have some answers. You know, he's getting back into flow. You know, the other day you can start to see that he's getting back, and he's going to be even better this week. They're going to want to get him the football, and he's a dynamic football player. And if he's not the best, he's one of the best at the position. So it'll be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I know this isn't your department. I know this isn't your department.
Then I'll go back to
3 options. This isn't your department, obviously, but ticket prices were just raised for the season ticket holders. A lot of consternation among the fans. You're one of the culprits for doing all this staying winning. So, what do you tell fans who are taking this kind of preparing for this blow?
Yeah, Carlos, don't put me in that spot. Look, I'm not in marketing. I don't deal with ticket prices. I'm just trying to win games, and so I don't know. You know, it is what it is, and I hate to say that, but I have there's nothing I can do about anything other than just try to coach and give us a winner.
The Vikings are on their 4th quarterback this season. How does that what do you have to look at? What do you have to key on that it's Mullins now? Just like, how does that change the preparation?
Well, I think, you know, he's a facilitator. You know, he's the guy that's going to get him in the right play. He's going to be able to read the coverage, get it in the hands of his playmakers, Jefferson, Addison, Hawk, the back. You know, he's able to. He's a very efficient quarterback. I would say he's not as mobile as Dobbs. You know, and so there's a little bit of that to where At least you have a pretty good idea of where he's going to be. Now they'll move the pocket a lot of boots, keepers. But he's an efficient quarterback, and that's really, if you're able to run it and you've got weapons, you can certainly win that way. And he played better than he did the week before, and man, he made some really good plays in the game against Cincinnati. He did, and there was a couple of interceptions, but overall, man, he's played. He's had success, and he understands that offense very well. So, you know, he gives them a good chance. You know, and that's all you can ask for at quarterback.
Hey Dan, Caitlin Kaler with The Athletic. Nice to meet you. I've noticed when you talk about Jared, even when he has a game where he appears to struggle, you never appear to single him out or criticize him publicly. And I wonder if that is just a purposeful, is that purposeful the way you do that, and how important is it for a quarterback to feel that support from his head coach?
Well, I think that I don't really do. I try not to single out any one player and just go after them, you know. And but it is what it is. I don't really treat him any different than anybody else. And just because I don't openly, you know, go after a player in the media doesn't mean we don't talk behind the scenes and in my office one-on-one about what we need to do better. The details of it, and I think everybody can kind of see what is and what isn't, you know. And so, look, I think at the end of the day, as long as you're open and honest with the player one-on-one, and they know that you see them for what it is or see the performance for what it is, good or bad, you can respect that, and that's how you get better. And that's what we've been able to do. And that's what I've been able to do with him. And that actually gives him confidence. And he knows that there's still a trust and a belief in him. And that is important.
Yeah, Dan, you were asked earlier about, you know, some of the pressures you face as a team. I was wondering if being in first place since opening day has put any pressure on this team, maybe from the point of getting everybody's best shot week in, week out?
No, I mean, I would say certainly we go into places you know you're going to want to play well against us, you know, because we have won games. We are playing pretty good football, and so you're going to get, most teams are going to want to put their best foot forward. But I don't feel like there's any, you know, the pressure. I mean, look, I just go back to this. The more you win, the more the pressure goes up. But you can't let that. You should enjoy that. I mean, and I think that's kind of where we're at. I mean, I think we, you know, it's when we're at our best is when, you know, you have people gunning for you, and we have things at our fingertips here, and it doesn't always go your way, but you find a way to bounce back. And I just think that's, you know, it's a good thing for us. We've done well with that. Okay.